A lot of the time, what I see people struggling with when it comes to attracting their soulmate clients is that they're all over the place. They're doing way too much, and they don't have a clear and concise message that actually lands with their soulmate client. They're not speaking the same language.
Welcome to the Aligned and Magnetic podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Ashley. I'm an ICF certified business alignment coach, and they call me the money mindset and manifestation queen. I'm here to help you make your vision for your life and business a reality and doing it in a way that lights you the fuck up. If you're ready to build an aligned, magnetic, and profitable business so that you can live the life of your dreams, you are definitely in the right place. In this podcast, I promise to provide you with the raw lessons, the tools, and powerful questions to help you on the way to creating success your way. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's dive in.
Hello, love. Welcome back to another episode of the Aligned and Magnetic podcast. I'm so happy you're here. And today we're going to talk about how to manifest soulmate clients. So there are a lot of elements and pieces, and I've learned a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in marketing industry for over, it's been like 10 years now. And I've been a business owner for over 5 years. And there's a lot of nuances and just like different pieces, right? And what I can tell you right off the bat is it's not always just about marketing. It's also about energetics. It's about your mindset. And actually, this might be a good time to tell you about this. So I've been really thinking a lot about, you know how we talk about like mind, body, soul, or mind, body, spirit? There are 3 different bodies, right? And a lot of, I think, homeopathy, Chinese medicine, they speak actually about 4, homeopathy speaks about 4 different bodies. The spirit, the mind, the emotions, and then the physical body, I believe is what it is. And then in Chinese medicine, they incorporate all 3, mind, body, spirit. And obviously, I don't know about you, but I appreciate Western medicine. I don't believe that it's the end all be all. So I'm super grateful to live in a place where they are very holistic perspective, and that there are a lot of very different avenues, right, for seeking healing and for getting better and fixing whatever ailments are manifesting in your physical body. It's my belief that our physical body is the last to feel the effects of our mindset, the effects of trauma, the effects of our spirit. And usually once it gets to the body level, that's when we sit up and take notice and we're like, oh my God, I have something wrong with me. I got to fix it. But if we keep going to the Western world for medicine, for surgeries and all of that stuff, like, yes, it works in some cases, but it's definitely not the solution for every single problem. And that's when we need to start looking deeper at like, okay, what led to this, right? Physical ailment, what led to this big thing happening in my life, this pain, this whatever it is, right? So I really believe in this mind, body, spirit. I don't know if you're on that same page, but anyway, it's the same with our business, right? I've been really kind of reflecting on this connection lately. So if we're not taking care of our spirit in business, if we're not taking care of our mind in business, and we're only taking care of our body, aka producing physical actions, it's probably like you might not be getting the results that you want. In my experience, it takes a combination of all 3 to really see a shift in your business, to really go to the lengths that you want to go, to the places that you envision yourself going, you know? And a lot of the time what I noticed is like, okay, I was taking all of the actions, I was doing all of the work, but I still felt blocked. And so I had to like, learn, okay, what mindsets are blocking me, what traumas are blocking me, what things maybe on a spiritual or energetic level are not flowing for me. And once I did that work, things started to open up, right? So in my experience, it takes all 3, mind, body, spirit. mind, physical action, spirit for your business, okay? And so, yeah, what I really want to do for you today is just shed light on how to attract soulmate clients, right? I believe that just like soulmates, I am totally the believer that we have soulmates here in the world, that we have people who maybe we've been in past lives with, that we're meant to cross paths with and be with and learn from. Alexis is totally, we're definitely soulmates. We definitely were meant to be together. We learned so much from each other and we click so well. And I believe this is also true for business, right? I believe that we have soulmate coaches or soulmate clients. I believe that the people that I've worked with, I was meant to work with them, right? I felt pulled to work with them for one reason or another. Whether you actually get your expectations met is another thing. Now that we've kind of laid the groundwork that soulmate clients do exist, and by the way, all of the clients that I've worked with have truly felt like soulmate clients. Like it felt like my heart feels so fulfilled after working with them during our calls. Like they truly nourish my soul. And that, I believe, is what we are designed for. Like we are designed to attract people that we really love to help, that we really love to work with, that give us energy rather than take energy from us. And so I want to cover today some of the ways that you can attract your soulmate clients and maybe some of the reasons that you're not. Now, before we move forward, I want to say that each business is different, and the reason that you might not be attracting soulmate clients might be one of the reasons that I'm going to mention. It also might be another reason. So if you're someone who is ready to attract more soulmate clients and make more money in your business, reach new money milestones this year, I invite you to send me a message on Instagram and we can work together one-on-one on really figuring out like, okay, what's going on here? But anyway, here are the 3 different things that I most commonly see. Like I said, it's not all of them, but these are the most common things that I see. So the first one is your energy, right? If your energy is not in alignment with what actions you are taking and what you desire to be doing in the world, it's going to be a lot harder for you to attract soulmate clients because you yourself are not on your correct soul journey. You're not in alignment with what it is that you desire to do. And not even just desire, but what you are called, like what you are meant to do in the world. And I know that sometimes like we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves, like what is my calling? What is my dream? And as long as you're taking forward movement toward what you feel called to in this moment, that is way 100% better than keeping yourself small in a job or a business position or whatever, doing something that you hate, right? So continue moving forward toward that vision, toward what you envision right here, right now. It probably will change over time because we are meant to evolve. We're not meant to stay stuck. And once you do get to that dream job, it's going to turn into another dream job and another dream job. And that's how we grow. But you have to start to work toward what it is that you want to be doing right now in order to start to see that growth happening. So this is one of the elements of alignment. The other element is like you are just trying to do way too much, and you might be operating or running the business of someone who's been here for like 4 to 10 years already, has multiple programs, multiple offerings, multiple freebies, multiple funnels, and all of that stuff. And the reality is that running all of those things takes a team. It takes systems, right? You don't see the behind the scenes of all of these big name successful business owners, right? They have people to help them. They have people to support them. And not just that, they have systems in place to make their business run smoothly. So this is why in my business, I do have my small team, just me and my VA, but it's not even, just that, right? I have me and my VA or my VA and I, and I'm obviously planning to expand over time. I would love to expand and hire an OBM, an online business manager this year. And I would love to hire some support coaches once I get my programs to that level. And also, I have to be accepting of where I'm at right now and take the action of a business that is in this place instead of trying to take on too much. You know what I mean? It's you know how I think people get really confused about this. Well, act as if you already had that. And while yes, that is true, there are some nuances to it. Just because you want the business of like a multi-million-dollar business owner does not mean you should go and create like 1.5 million offerings if you don't have the foundational systems in place, right? So instead, if you want that multi-million-dollar business, you want a 6-figure business, whatever that might be, focus on those first steps. Like, what can you get down pat? What can you start to do in terms of building a solid foundation so that you can build on top of that? You know what I mean? Get one system out, get 2 systems out, that sort of thing. So I think this happens a lot with newbie entrepreneurs where they're like always trying to create something new. Like, oh, this didn't work, let's try something else. Well, this didn't work, let's create something new. And in reality, what you're doing is you are spending way too much energy doing that, when sometimes all it is about is like tweaking like what you've already got to align it to yourself so that you are lit up about what you're selling or what you're offering, and aligning that with your soulmate clients, like what they desire, right? What they want to pay money for. And I think this gets tricky, right? Because so what I can share from this perspective is that there are people who take a super marketing route and they're just like, well, this has to be this way because like you need to speak their language, right? And then there are people who solely take I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Then there are people who solely take the energetic route and they're like, well, like do what your calling is and blah, 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 blah. And in reality, it's actually a mixture of the two. It's like, okay, yes, we need to speak our soulmate client's language. And also, like, you have to be lit the fuck up about what it is that you're doing. So here's an example to put this into concrete terms, because I know sometimes I can sound a little like airy-fairy, what the fuck you talking about? So in my business, when I was doing health coaching, I ended up somehow niching down to like helping people overcome binge eating, right? And this is not what I wanted to do, but it was under the discretion. I mean, I take full ownership because I didn't put my foot down and say no. I was just kind of trusting in my business coach at the time that she knew what she was doing. So I was like, okay, like we'll try it and see what happens. And what ended up happening is, I mean, binge eating is a very sensitive topic. That's like, I knew in my soul that it wasn't ethical for me to go that route because people actually struggle with eating disorders. And I am not a psychologist. I am not a therapist. And so there was something within me that knew that, and I did it anyway. So this is a perfect example of your energy not being in alignment. So what you're saying and what you're offering is actually like at your core level, you don't believe in it, or you don't believe that you can actually help people with that thing. Do you know what I mean? So this is why we have to really work on what are you feeling on the inside? Like, what is your calling? And that usually comes out as very airy-fairy language, like, oh, I help people find their calling, or I help people to remove their blocks, or I help people to, take care of themselves or whatever. And then what we need to do is like, okay, this is what you do. And then how can we translate that into words that your soulmate client will actually be able to wrap their head around? And so one of my clients actually, instead of helping people like realign their energy, which is what she was using before, we shifted it to I help people connect with themselves, gain clarity on what it is that they are here for, on what it is that they want, and I help them take courageous action toward building the life of their desires. Now, how much more powerful is that in comparison to I help people realign their energy, right? Right? I'm so excited about this client and what is coming for her because, yeah. And this is actually what we did inside of Align and Manifest. So if you're interested in doing that one-on-one with me, let me know, because we can totally create a powerful, strong brand for you this year so that you can really start to magnetize your soulmate clients. The other thing in terms of the energetic element, because we're still talking about energy here, energy alignment, is you're like way too desperate for clients. And I see this a lot when people have icky feelings about money. They're like in survival mode, desperate for money, desperate for clients. And the reality is that the more desperate you are for clients, the more you're going to attract desperate clients, right? A lot of these desperate clients are not actually ready to hand you over their money because they don't trust in themselves, they don't believe in themselves. And while sure, maybe our content can help them, like we are not in business to be, what does my mom always say? You're not the, whatever it is. We're not martyrs here, right? We are like running a business, and yes, we can give back, but you need to create a solid foundation for yourself first so that you can give back, right? We need to get you financially stable so that you can give back. And so this is a really key thing here, right? Coming into alignment energetically with what it is that we desire to do without the ego getting involved, without our mindset being like, oh, but you can't, right? And this is something that I'm really, really good at, because when I have a conversation with my clients or my friends or whoever's in my sphere, I can really help you to take away those blocks, get to the root of what it is, like what is your heart telling you? What is your soul telling you? And then, okay, what are the blocks that are stopping you from getting there? Clear those blocks and let's get you moving in forward direction toward your dreams. I don't believe it has to take you 10 years to get where you desire to be. We can do it a lot sooner, but we need to get to like the core of what it is that you desire and start fucking working toward it, because too many people are just holding themselves back because they don't believe in themselves, because they don't think that they can, because they've been cut from this cloth, or they grew up here, or their environment this. And it's like, okay, let's stop making excuses, get to the root of what you want, and then go for it from there. So that is what I'm really, really talented at. And if you are ready to be kicked in the ass, and also walk away with a plan to move forward, come and hang out with me in a one-on-one Align and Manifest. And actually, I have limited spots available. I forgot about that. So just send me a message on Instagram to see if there are any spots left. If not, I have something else for you that I'll share with you at the end. And I'm really excited to share. All right, so that's your energy. And that's the first piece that I always do with my clients, is get clear on what it is that they desire and where it is they want to be headed, so that we can quantum leap into that reality instead of like constantly working on all these hurdles, right? So the second element is your magnetism, and this shows up in your messaging and your branding. How are you being online? So something that I see that I really want to talk about, because I feel very passionate about it. And actually, this came up in our conversation last week with Suki, but I see a lot of entrepreneurs who desire 8K clients, like clients who pay them $8,000, or clients who pay them $5,000, or clients who pay them $10,000, but they're not showing up for themselves. Okay, there's two things here. Either they're not showing up for themselves as the person who has that already, and or they have made up a story in their mind and have connected, well, somebody who receives 10K from clients or 8K from clients looks like this. And then they are not aligned with what that is. And then therefore they cannot have it because they are not at that level. Do you know what I mean? So as an example, they might be, let's say they're a mom and they're like running around after their kids, like shit's crazy, shit's chaotic. They got to drive them to soccer, drive them to school, drive them to daycare, take care of groceries, laundry, whatever, all of this stuff. And then they are showing up on their camera like a hot mess, right? Like chaotic, and they don't have their shit together. And while I don't believe that you have to have all your shit together in order to have an impact, we do need to be intentional about how we're showing up for our clients, right? We do need to be intentional about how we are bringing our energy forward to sell, to magnetize, because ultimately you are your brand, right? And if there's a thought or belief in your mind that X amount of dollars per month equals looks like this, and you're not doing that, you're A, blocking yourself, and then B, actually that's it. You're blocking yourself from reaching your goal, right? You're just creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, I can't manifest this because I am not what I believe I have to be in order to blah, blah, blah. And so that's where actually that's a part of the alignment piece as well, but it's also a part of that magnetism. So how are you showing up, right? When we think about like, okay, you are a coach in high demand, or you're a healer in high demand, or you are a Reiki practitioner or a lash technician, an esthetician, whatever it is that you do, who are you at your next level? So if you had 10K months, how would you be showing up? If you had 20K months, how would you be showing up? And this is not about going out and buying like Louboutin heels and fucking Versace clothes and all that bullshit. It's literally just as simple as checking your energy, right? And tuning into your energy and what it is that you desire, right? Like, we're not coming in with like chaos and clutter and a brain that is filled with crap, a distracted brain, right? That can't focus or be present for their lives, for their content, for their stories, whatever it is, however you are showing up. Are you being present with who you are at your next level? Are you being the leader who has 10K months already? Okay, super key. So the other elements of your magnetism are around your messaging and your branding. And this is something that I was talking about that I helped one of my clients with in Align and Manifest. And I'm offering this now as a one-on-one service because it is such a potent experience. Like, so much, we tap into all of the body, like actions that we're taking, the mind and the spirit, to really set you up for success, because I don't believe that you can do one without the other. So when it comes to your magnetism, if you are not attracting soulmate clients, it might be because you are not being your authentic self in your messaging. You're kind of trying to show up as someone who has all their shit together when in reality you don't. And I know this sounds contradicting in terms of like what I just said, but it's all about the way in which you present yourself, right? Like, are you owning that you don't have your shit together and I can still show up as my next level? Do you know what I mean? It's like a fine balance. And this is like, this podcast, I feel like, is a great example, because I'm sharing with you guys my struggles in business, and also I'm showing you that I am a leader, that I do overcome this, and that I can still help you because I have reached a certain level in my business and I can help you get to this level or surpass me. I've had clients surpass me, and it's an amazing feeling. So with all of that said, are you being your authentic self in your messaging? And or do you sound like everybody else on the internet? Because if you are just creating the same kind of content, you know, it's really good to connect with other people and see, like, gain inspiration, like see what's out there in terms of market research and what people want to hear. And also, you've got to speak your truth, your voice, bring your unique fiery energy into the world. And maybe it's not fiery, maybe it's soft and gentle, right? But are you trying to be like somebody else, or are you being your authentic self in your messaging? Also, what I've seen is people speaking from wounds and projecting their experiences onto other people. This a lot. Often this shows up in terms of sales, right? When new entrepreneurs get started and they don't have a lot of clients, I notice them kind of speak to their clients with the belief, there's an underlying belief that their clients don't have money to pay them because they don't necessarily have the extra money to pay for a coach, or they don't believe that they have the extra money to pay for a coach, right? And so if you are speaking from your own experience and projecting your own experience onto others, that is going to literally magnetize that kind of person. So you need to clean up your energy first. And I invite you to go back to phase 1, which is your energetic alignment. This is why energy is literally the foundation for everything that we do. So the other thing is that you're not speaking your client's language. And I see this happen a lot where people have a hard time really like putting into words what it is that they do. And I've struggled with this as well, so I get it. And also, like, we have to be able to communicate what our clients, especially if you're pricing high ticket, what are they going to walk away from your experience with? What can they expect to receive in this experience? Why is it important to them? Not to you, but to them, right? And what they need. So I think the biggest mistake I see is people kind of come at it from a place of like, well, here's what I want to offer, and here's why I think it's the best. The way to overcome this, the way to shift this and really speak to your soulmate client is to step into their shoes. And an exercise I often give my private clients is to go and talk to their clients, right? And ask them like, okay, what brought you here, right? You can look at your application forms, you can look at old messages with clients and really start to use their languaging in your marketing and watch other soulmate clients come toward you because you are literally just replicating the same soulmate client situation. Do you know what I mean? You're starting to speak directly to your soulmate clients and what it is that they desire. You can still do all of the amazing things that you love, but when it comes to marketing, you've got to make sure that there's a clear line of communication because people don't have time to be scrolling through bullshit. They're going to lose their attention, right? They are not just there because, oh, like my name is Lauren Ashley and people want to read all my shit. And while that can be a reality for me, we still need to communicate clearly. All right. You know, another thing about this whole magnetism is that like you get to be in your business whoever and however you want to be, right? And so my mission is always to help my clients really tap into like, okay, how do you desire to show up? And now let's make that like magnetic, right? So that you can, it's part of your brand, it's part of your messaging, and soulmate clients will come to you because they love your vibe, they love your magnetism. They are literally magnetized to you because you are being your authentic self. You're sharing your truth. You're sharing what needs to be said. You're not fearful of what other people will think of you, and they are attracted to your messaging and your branding. Okay, now the last thing that I want to talk about is consistency, because this is a word that I avoided for so long in my business. And honestly, I think it was a really big block for me in even starting this podcast. In my human design, I am not designed to be a consistent person. I don't have like a consistent routine. I don't have a consistent day that I show up for the podcast necessarily. And I remember one of my friends who was studying human design at the time with me saying like, oh, are you sure you want to start a podcast? Like, you have to be really consistent. And that kind of mentality, I guess, kind of stuck with me for a really long time and really held me back from starting my podcast because, you know, I thought like, oh, well, how am I going to continue to be consistent? Like, I can't just be my flowy natural self. And what I can share with you is that I am doing it my way. We can still be consistent in a way that works for us, right? And so what I found out is that going live on Facebook and Instagram, like on a consistent schedule each week was not working for me. And then also being consistent in terms of showing up weekly, but not telling people when I was going to show up didn't work either because people had no idea when to expect me to pop in live, right? So instead, what I've done is I have done things like this, like create on my own time when I feel called, but create enough in advance that I can, you know, edit and get my episode ready and have it ready to go the same time every week. And sometimes, granted, it doesn't come out at 7 a.m. every week because shit happens. But for the most part, I really try to stay on time. And actually, I'm proud to say, as of this episode, I am, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks ahead, and it feels really good. So yeah, we can totally create your business, your consistency strategy, like however the fuck you want. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it any way that anyone else is doing it. We really get to customize how you do business. And it's really just about understanding your energy and understanding, how to work with your energy, how to work with what it is that you desire to do, and doing it in a way that is in alignment with your natural gifts, your natural strengths, your energy, rather than like your energetic propensities, I guess it is. Some people work a lot better with structured days, like from 9 to 10, I'm going to do this. From 10 to 11, I'm going to do this. From 11 to 12, I'm going to do this. And then other people work better having a lot more white space and creative flowy time. And so just like that, we get to choose how we approach business. It's just really figuring out how you prefer to work and coming up with a strategy that will honor and support you in being consistent in your business. And I guess I can talk about, in terms of consistency, why is that important? Well, if you only show up once a month, like imagine you only showing up for your romantic relationship once a month, right? What would that person start to think of you? How would that person start to feel? Neglected, right? It doesn't look good from an outside perspective that someone's only showing up once a month or like once in a blue moon. And this isn't to say that you can't take breaks. I believe it's absolutely necessary to take breaks. But the more consistent you are in your messaging, like the more of the same words you use, the more consistent you are in how you show up, the more consistent you are in selling, the greater chances you have of attracting your soulmate clients, as long as your actions, your energy, and your mindset are in alignment with one another and they're not like disjointed or at different levels. And an example of this is sometimes I find clients get kind of like, oh, like I'm so ready to make money, and they just want to, have people pay them like $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000. But the reality is that like they don't even feel worthy of manifesting or helping a client at that monetary level. They don't feel like they can provide results to somebody who invests $4,000, $8,000. And then that's another way that they block themselves, right? And so what was the point of that? Right. That's why the whole mind, energy, and actions are super, super key to bring them together, get your actions on board with your mindset, or your mindset on board with your actions, and clear any energetic blockages, subconscious, like any looming beliefs, trauma, or I don't even know how to explain the energetic element. All I know is that it's there and I can help you with it. But anyway, I will work on finding better words for explaining that part. Making sure it's all in alignment, moving you forward on your path and your trajectory. So the other thing around this consistency is I see a lot of people showing up, but they're not actually talking about what they have to offer. And if you're going to be a business, you have to sell. So selling like something at least I feel like daily, if not, weekly, like you got to get out there with your sales and let people know what it is that you're doing and what you can offer them. And of course, your messaging has to be in alignment with your soulmate client. You see how it all works together. Anyway, if you are ready to build a business that makes money or more money online without burning out, and you're ready to reach your money goals this year or this quarter, I would love to invite you to the Magnetize More Money in Your Business Masterclass. I ran this masterclass back in October. It had really great reviews. It had a great impact on the people who came, and I would love for you to come. I'm actually improving or tweaking the masterclass to make it longer and also more in-depth. So you're actually, if you've been to it before, come back again, and we're going to do even more work. So you'll walk away with a framework. I'm going to teach you my aligned, magnetic, and profitable framework to help you take your next steps and reach your money goals this quarter. You're going to walk away knowing how to attract your soulmate clients and sell with ease. #SalesQueenVibes. And you'll also have a plan to help you show up and promote your services authentically so you can magnetize more money in your business. So if you like this episode, you're going to love the masterclass, and I will link it in the show notes for you to come and see what's going on. Come and hang out with me. So far, the date is March 8th, and that is when it'll be happening live. If you can't make it live, no problem. There will be a replay, and I highly encourage you to watch it. And that's all I have to say for you today. Say to you. Last thing is, if you are interested in really going big this year, you're ready for one-on-one support, let me know. I am taking on some one-on-one clients in the meantime, or we can do a one-on-one VIP day to help you align your energy to your messaging, to your mindset, and go out there in a big way with a consistent and magnetic brand. I love you.